Headlines is sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi says his government is for politics of development, not for politics of hate. Addressing election rally at Karkaduma, PM says Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi has obstructed development works in the state, depriving the poor benefits of central schemes like PM Awas Yojana. Campaigning for Delhi Assembly polls picks up pace. Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal holding roadshows at several places. BJP leaders including party president JP Nadda, Home Minister Amit Shah and Union Minister Prasar Bharati campaigning at different places in Delhi. Several AAP leaders joined BJP. Centre forms task force on coronavirus comprising Minister of State for Home Affairs, Ministers of Civil Aviation, Health and External Affairs. Fresh travel advisory asks Indian citizens not to travel to China or they may be quarantined on their return. Third coronavirus case confirmed in Kerala. China shuts down yet another city after Wuhan as the deadly coronavirus continues to spread. Death toll reaches 361. New hospital in Wuhan to start treating patients from today. Confirmed coronavirus cases also reported in the United States. Rajya Sabha adjourned for the day after facing repeated disruptions over CAA and NRC during discussion on the motion on vote of thanks to the President's address. Opposition parties give adjournment notice on the Citizenship Amendment Act. Uttar Pradesh police says 108 people have been arrested in the last 4 days affiliated with Popular Front of India. Interim DGP Uttar Pradesh says those arrested are in addition to the 25 arrested earlier. And the World War I drama 1917 leads among the winners with 6 BAFTA Awards including Best Film and Best Director for Sam Mendes. Joker wins 3 awards including Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix, while Renee Zellweger named Best Actress for her portrayal of Judy Garland.
Headlines was sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Namaskar, I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with our top story today. Campaigning for the assembly elections in Delhi reaches its peak. Addressing an election rally at BJP, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a scathing attack on opposition parties. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in the last 20 years, Delhi's development has been affected due to the policies of the parties in power. He sought vote for BJP and said policy of national development is his government's priority and there is no place for politics of hate.
बीस साल बहुत कुछ आपने देख लिया है, बहुत बर्बादी झेल चुके हैं. अब तो एक ही रास्ता बचा है और इसलिए दिल्ली में भाजपा का आना जरूरी है. जब दिल्ली में भाजपा की एनडीए की सरकार बनेगी तो जो देश भर में हमारा काम चल रहा है, बेघरों को पक्का घर देने का, वो काम हम दिल्ली में भी आसानी से कर पाएंगे. और घर में गैस होगा, पानी होगा, बिजली होगी, सारी बुनियादी सुविधाएं भी मिलेगी. साथियों, 21वीं सदी का भारत नफरत की राजनीति से नहीं, विकास की राष्ट्रनीति से चलेगा.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed to the citizens of Delhi to vote for BJP in large numbers so that the pace of development could be accelerated in Delhi.
हर किसी हिंदुस्तानी को दिल्ली ने दिल में जगह दी. जो यहां बस गए उन्होंने भी पूरे तन मन और श्रम से दिल्ली को आज यहां पहुंचाया है। दिल्ली के विकास में हर दिल्ली वासी के पसीने की महक है। ये चुनाव दिल्ली के इसी गौरव को 21वीं सदी की पहचान और शान देने का संकल्प है।
Also, senior BJP leader and Union Minister Amit Shah today also addressed a public rally in Mundka in Delhi, hitting out at Aam Aadmi Party chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Amit Shah said that for the last 5 years, Kejriwal only made false promises to the people of Delhi.
मित्रों, झूठ बोलने की स्पर्धा अगर करा दी जाए तो देश के सारे मुख्यमंत्रियों में आजीवन केजरीवाल का नंबर 1 आ जाए, नंबर 1 आ जाए। 5 साल में इतने झूठे वादे इस सरकार ने करे हैं जिसका लिस्ट पृथ्वी के पूरे लंबाई से भी लंबा है। ये 21 दिन पहले आप पार्टी ने अपनी वेबसाइट से पुराना घोषणा पत्र वापिस ले लिया, क्योंकि लोग देखते थे कि इन्होंने क्या वादे करे हैं, पूछते थे तो घोषणा पत्र छिपाने के लिए उन्होंने वापिस दे दिया। केजरीवाल साहब, आप घोषणा पत्र वापिस ले लो तो हम ऐसे नहीं छोड़ेंगे आपको।
And also ahead of the Delhi Assembly polls, some prominent personalities and individuals in large numbers today joined the BJP in presence of Delhi Assembly election in charge Prasar Bharati and Delhi BJP President Manoj Tiwari. Addressing the media, Javadekar hit out at Aam Aadmi Party chief and Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, saying he is supporting those who want to break the country, be it the protesters at Shaheen Bagh or the students at Jawaharlal Nehru University.
आज केजरीवाल की पार्टी शाहीन बाग को समर्थन करती है। भारत तोड़ने के जहां नारे लग रहे हैं, ऐसे नारों के साथ खड़ा रहना भी आतंकवाद ही है। और जेएनयू में देशद्रोही नारे लगे, उसके साथ भी खड़े हैं, इसलिए मुकदमे को परमिशन नहीं दे रहे। 26 जनवरी को पहले ही धमकी दी थी कि मैं रोकूंगा। और कितने सबूत चाहिए? केजरीवाल, दिल्ली की जनता जान चुकी है कि आप झूठों के सरताज हो और आप मूल अराजकवादी हो, आतंकवादियों से सहानुभूति रखते हो।
The BJP has asked its MP Anand Kumar Hegde to issue an unconditional apology over his latest remark on Mahatma Gandhi. According to sources, the BJP's top leadership is upset over Hegde's remark on Mahatma Gandhi. And also talking to media persons, Congress leader Ajay Makan alleged that AAP government is hands in gloves with discoms and involved in corrupt practices. He said if voted to power, Congress will not only provide cheaper electricity in Delhi, but also ensure that corruption in electricity distribution is rooted out.
कांग्रेस रूल स्टेट के अंदर सब्सिडी 3-3 गुना दी जाती है, जितनी की दिल्ली के अंदर देती 3 गुना सब्सिडी दी जाती है। और यही नहीं, जो सबसे बड़ा फर्क है कांग्रेस रूल स्टेट्स और दिल्ली के अंदर, दिल्ली में सब्सिडी में भ्रष्टाचार है। तो दिल्ली के अंदर जब सब्सिडी हमारा यही मानना है, कैलकुलेशन है कि जो 9,000 करोड़ की सब्सिडी दी गई, अगर ये प्राइवेट कंपनी को देने की जगह डीबीटी डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर के तहत लोगों को डायरेक्ट के पैसा मिलता, तो हम 200 यूनिट नहीं, हम 300 यूनिट फ्री कर सकते थे।
Meanwhile, Bahujan Samaj Party started its campaign for Delhi Assembly elections with BSP chief Mayawati. Addressing a public rally, BSP chief said that its party will fight elections alone and believes in walking the talk.
ये चुनाव यहाँ आपके दिल्ली प्रदेश की लगभग सभी विधानसभा की सीटों पर अकेले अपने बलबूते पर ही पूरी तैयारी व दमदारी के साथ ये चुनाव लड़ रही है। यहाँ आपके दिल्ली प्रदेश में भी सर्व समाज में से विशेषकर यहाँ दलितों, आदिवासियों, पिछड़े वर्गों, मुस्लिम व अन्य धार्मिक अल्पसंख्यकों के लोगों का कोई खास विकास व उत्थान आदि नहीं हो सका है। हमारी पार्टी कहने में बहुत कम बल्कि कार्य करके दिखाने में ही ज्यादा विश्वास रखती है।
Moving on, the budget session of the parliament is underway. Today, both the houses took up the discussion on motion of thanks on the President Ramnath Kovind's address to the joint session of the parliament. BJP MP Parvez Sahib Singh moved the motion in Lok Sabha. However, as soon as the proceedings started, opposition parties created ruckus over the CAA and NRC issues. Earlier during the question hour, Congress and DMK MPs entered the well, shouting slogans. The sloganeering did not stop even after the assurances from the speaker that members can raise their issues during discussion on motion of thanks. Meanwhile, in Rajya Sabha, BJP MP Bhupendra Yadav presented the motion of thanks in the Rajya Sabha. However, Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad demanded discussion on NRC and CAA under Rule 267 of the House. Various parties including CPM, CPI and BSP wanted discussion on these issues. Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment Thawar Chand Gehlot made fresh appeals to opposition to start discussion on motion of thanks, but it was not honoured by the opposition. Responding to the demand of the opposition parties, Deputy Chairperson of the House said that the House has already discussed the CAA till 12 in the night and asked them to discuss motion of thanks, but as the ruckus continued, Upper House had to be adjourned for the day. Moving on, Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan today informed the Lok Sabha that the government has introduced the targeted direct benefit transfer system to directly transfer the subsidy in the account of LPG consumers. This initiative has cut subsidy leakages and helped in curbing diversion of subsidized LPG.
प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना की 80% लाभार्थी 3.27 एक साल के अंदर रिफिलिंग लेना शुरू किए हैं। लगभग 65,000 करोड़ रुपया बचत हुई है डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर के कारण, घोष कनेक्शन को काटने के कारण। उसी पैसे से हमने बचे हुए पैसे से गरीब लोगों को 8 करोड़ एलपीजी कनेक्शन मुफ्त में दिया है।
Speaking in Lok Sabha, Minister of State for Finance Anurag Thakur said there has been a decrease in fraud cases in banks and NPA has also come down. He also assured of every possible action if someone found guilty in any kind of bank fraud case.
पहले मैं एनपीएस की बात करूं तो एनपीए भी 8.96 लाख करोड़ से कम होकर 7.27 लाख करोड़ हुआ है। पहले तो एनपीए में भी कमी आई है और जहां तक फ्रॉड की बात है माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, ये भी आंकड़ा बहुत अच्छा है जिसको मैं सभा पटल पर रखना चाहूंगा और माननीय सदस्यों की जानकारी में लाना चाहूंगा कि लगभग 1,68,000 करोड़ के फ्रॉड जो पहले 2014 में डिटेक्ट किए गए थे उसमें भारी गिरावट आई है और ये 0.58% से कम होकर 0.04% तक आए हैं।
Speaking on Shaheen Bagh agitation in Delhi, BJP leader and national spokesperson GVL Narasimha Rao said that protest is illegal. He added that government is exposing the drama behind as political parties, especially Delhi CM and AAP chief Arvind Kejriwal and his party officials taking undue advantage of innocent people of Delhi. He further assured that centre will not entertain these illegal protests.
शाहीन बाग में जो प्रोटेस्ट हो रहे हैं ये अवैध प्रोटेस्ट हैं, बिना कोई परमिशन लिए हुए इस प्रकार 50 दिन तक ये चल रहा है। यह इस प्रकार के ड्रामा सरकार इसको एक्सपोज कर रही है। इसके पीछे कई राजनीतिक दलों का सीधे तौर पर हाथ है। इसमें आम आदमी पार्टी के अमीनुल्लाह खान, अरविंद केजरीवाल, इन सब का समर्थन प्राप्त है और सरकार ऐसे प्रोटेस्ट कुछ चंद लोगों की प्रोटेस्ट के कारण सरकार अपने नीति या सोच नहीं बदलेगी, इनको वहां से उठकर जाना होगा।
Meanwhile, Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi accused opposition who endeavours to portray CAA in a negative role. He further recalled how President in his address to the joint session of the Parliament had clarified the skepticism surrounding amended Citizenship Act.
CA को विलेन बनाने की होड़ में खुद ये लोग जो है विलन बनने की छोर पे पहुंच चुके हैं। जो संयुक्त सत्र है पार्लियामेंट का, संसद का, उसमें राष्ट्रपति जी ने क्या कहा कि सीए किसी की नागरिकता लेने के लिए नहीं है, बल्कि उन 3 देशों के लोगों को नागरिकता देने के लिए है। एक चीज़ कही। दूसरी चीज़ कही कि कोई भी विदेश का व्यक्ति अगर नागरिकता चाहता है तो उसके प्रोविजंस नागरिकता कानून में अभी भी मौजूद हैं, उसमें कोई परिवर्तन नहीं है।
Central government has now formed a special task force to monitor situation arising out of novel coronavirus menace. It comprises of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Ministers of State for Home Affairs and Health and Civil Aviation. The move came amidst reports that the 3rd case of novel coronavirus was detected in Kerala and the person had recently returned from China. The first meeting of the task force has already been held in the context of the latest developments in India and abroad related to coronavirus. Meanwhile, a meeting conducted by district officials at Mamallapuram in Tamil Nadu in spreading awareness on novel coronavirus. Centre has further revised travel advisory informing public to refrain travel to China and that anyone with travel history in China since January 15th and from now on could be quarantined. The government has also temporarily suspended e-visa facility for Chinese passport holders. Facility for submitting application online for physical visa from China has also been suspended. The government has also clarified that e-visa already issued to Chinese nationals is not valid temporarily. Meanwhile, those with compelling reasons to visit India have been asked to contact Indian Embassy in Beijing or consulate in Shanghai or Guangzhou. China is struggling with the deadly new coronavirus as the total of 17,205 cases have been confirmed on the Chinese mainland and at least 175 cases confirmed in more than 24 countries. It has left 361 dead in China and 1 in Philippines. 475 patients have recovered in China. Authorities in Hubei province have reported 56 new fatalities. Meanwhile, struggling to contain the virus, authorities virtually shut down the eastern city of Wenzhou yesterday, some 800 kilometers from Wuhan, closing roads and confining people to their homes. Earlier in the day, Chinese Foreign Minister confirmed 16 foreigners in China have been infected with the 2019 NCOV as of February 2nd. Among them, 2 have recovered and been discharged from hospital and 14 are in quarantine and in stable condition. Moving on, preparations are in full swing for the 11th edition of Defence Expo 2020, which will be held from 5th February to 9th at Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the biennial mega defence exhibition on 5th February. Defence ministers and service chiefs of 18 countries will participate in this Defence Expo. The aim is to bring the leading technologies in the defence sector under one roof and provide opportunities for the government, private manufacturers and startups. Let's listen in to this special report from our correspondent Nandita Dagar.
In this 4-day extravaganza, which has been extended to 5 days due to high public demand, everything would be on demonstration and on display for viewers and enthusiasts of high defense technology, high technology, state-of-the-art weapons. There will also be simulators for people to sit to obtain a feel of what it is like to sit in the cockpit of a Rafale or a Tejas. Also, you can see that this is going to be a huge defense expo with more than 30 delegations of more than 35 countries taking part. Just like this anti-satellite weapon Shakti, which was test fired in March 2019, this was a very successful launch. These kind of things are on display for people. There will be live demonstrations of artillery guns, helicopters and other aerial assets at the Gomti River front. Also, more than 1,000 defense manufacturing companies are here to display their wares. The theme of this Defense Expo is Make in India in Defense, and therefore they will be tying up with Indian defense manufacturing companies. Apart from DRDO, HAL, Ordnance Factory Boards, there are display pavilions for all defense companies. With Sudhir Yadav and camera person Sushil Sharma in Lucknow, this is Nandita Dagar for DD News.
US President Donald Trump's impeachment trial resumes for the final arguments today before an expected acquittal later in the week that Democrats have said will be invalid because no witnesses testified. Joe Biden, a leading challenger for this year's presidential ballot is among the candidates in the Iowa caucus that choose the state's Democratic nominee and mark the official start of the election season. The selection process is largely rural Iowa, coinciding with final impeachment arguments in Washington, will be closely watched as a sign as to which of the 11 Democratic candidates are gaining early momentum to challenge Trump in November's election. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders, riding high in the polls, urged voters to turn up in large numbers on caucus night. The leftist Sanders hold only a narrow lead over moderate Joe Biden. Many supporters who had voted for Sanders in the 2016 election said that they were looking forward to a do-over and were confident that the senator from Vermont would not just win Iowa but also the White House. And we are joined by our correspondent Kate Fisher to provide us more information on this. Kate, what do you expect from today's caucuses?
Just over 24 hours' time, the eyes of America and perhaps much of the rest of the world will be on this small American state because it's the first time that any American people will be voting in the 2020 presidential election. There are 11 Democratic candidates and the race here is tight. The four leading candidates at the moment are Joe Biden, former Vice President Barack Obama, the Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, the Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, and Pete Buttigieg, who is the former mayor of a small town in the state of Indiana. Those four seem to be the leaders at the moment, but it really is all to play for as we go into Monday and those all-important caucuses. What Democrats are really looking for is that one person they believe can beat Donald Trump.
Well, thank you, Kate. Thanks for the time. Moving on, Somalia has declared a national emergency as large swarms of locusts spread across East Africa. The country's Ministry of Agriculture said the insects, which consume large amounts of vegetation, posed a major threat to Somalia's fragile food security situation. There are fears that the situation may not be brought under control before the harvest begins in the month of April. The UN says the swarms are the largest in Somalia and Ethiopia in 25 years. Meanwhile, according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, neighboring Kenya is also witnessing the worst locust threat of the last 70 years. However, Somalia is the first country in the region to declare an emergency over the infestation. Earlier, Uganda was on high alert after swarms of locusts spread across East Africa. The government has announced it is ready to handle the threat. After an infestation was reported in neighboring Kenya, the ministry said the wider spread of desert locusts in Kenya puts Uganda at a high risk of invasion by the end of this month. The head in charge of agriculture said the country is working with the Desert Locust Control Organization for Eastern Africa and other development partners to contain the spread. Pakistan, which is facing its worst locust attack in decades, has declared national emergency over locust swarms. The Pakistani government said it was the worst locust infestation in more than 2 decades. Meanwhile, fresh swarms were sighted at Sri Karanpur Tehsil and its villages in Sri Ganganagar district and in Dechu area in Jodhpur district on Sunday. The Agriculture and Revenue Department authorities and the Locust Control Organization were relieved as a very minimal presence of locusts was confined to Sri Ganganagar district only out of the 10 other affected districts. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has already told the district collectors in the affected districts to complete the crop damage assessment. Moving on, World War I film 1917 was the big winner at the BAFTA Film Awards on Sunday with 7 prizes in total. The trophies for Sir Sam Mendes' movie included Best Film, Best British Film, Best Director and Best Cinematography.
There is only one way this war ends.
Joker won 3 awards including Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix, while Renee Zellweger was named Best Actress for her portrayal of Judy Garland.
To bring laughter and joy to the world.
South Korean film Parasite won 2 prizes for original screenplay and film not in the English language.
That you dare to dream.
Also, Brad Pitt won Best Supporting Actor for his role in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Laura Dern was named Best Supporting Actress for her performance as a divorce lawyer in Marriage Story. And for the information, it is for the first time since 1977 that all 4 of the BAFTA Awards for acting have been won by Americans. Zellweger, Phoenix, Dern and Brad Pitt have now won their acting categories at every major ceremony of awards season so far. All 4 are highly likely to triumph at next weekend's Oscars too. Garland's South Korean film Parasite won 2 prizes. Brad Pitt won Best Supporting Actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Laura Dern named Best Supporting Actress for Marriage Story. Well, that's all we have on this news bulletin. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.